Okay, Gary, thanks for your order on the President George here. And you got your Digi mic. I'm not going to show that anymore. I'm just going to make sure that that goes with it. Appreciate that. You did save a little bit on the Digi mic by getting them together. So it's not going to be a real long video on these, but I think everybody knows how much I like these and everything. I still say it's the best CB on the market for what you can get in America for a real certified CB. So we'll just get this hooked up for you, Gary, and show that it's working and stuff, and it'll be shipping down to you on Tuesday, so I'll be back to show that. I don't think I showed this in the beginning, but that's your radio. Get this thing to stop blurring. That's your radio right there. It ends in 539. I don't know what's going on. Maybe it's not blurring what you guys will see, but man. Okay, here's our radio. So President George, set it to about 4-watt carrier all the way up. Let's try to, my cell phone's dead, so I can't record on that until it's charged up. Forgot to charge it last night, unfortunately. So 1 2 3 1 2 3, check check, hello, this is AM power right here. 1 2 3 1 2 3, hello, check check. So these are pretty stout for what they are. If we back the carrier down to level 1, which is just under 1 watt, so just under 1 watt, then you get quite a bit less out of it, you know, so that's to be expected with the radio. The days of, like I've said before, the days of 1 watt swinging, distortion and all that stuff, we need to start forgetting about that. The guys that want all that big power and stuff, you're going to have to find a different way to do it. You know, there's a reason why an amplifier that has to be certified for amateur radio needs to have a level of dB gain that's contained to a certain level. That's why they don't allow such a high dB gain, because they know that there's a level of distortion that's going to be involved in that. And that's why, you know, some of these amplifiers that these guys are making and stuff, the homemade whatever, no disrespect to anybody, but that's why they would never pass any type of certification, because they just create a lot of interference with them. So, you know, and the 203 and all that would be the same way. I mean, they're not anywhere near what would pass a certification and stuff. So, you know, that's why I say running a filter with those is really important too. So I would rather just run a radio than run something that's going to make me have a really dirty signal on the airwaves. I'd rather just run radio power than run something else to give me a false sense of, look at all this power I'm doing. This is sideband, by the way, but then generally speaking, the power isn't making it to the other guy's antenna. It's going everywhere else on the RF spectrum, which is bad, and you're causing a lot of unnecessary interference. But, you know, these are, like I said, you know, for anyone that would say that these don't do a good amount of power for just a certified radio, I would say, what more do you really want? Because you give this another 10 watts, which it's not really possible to do, but now you're looking at the power of like a QT40 or an Aries 2. So, you know, it's really good. It's a real good performing radio. Let me come back to this for a second here. I want to check the TOI on this just to see where it's at, so I'll be right back. Okay, so when we're checking the TOI here, you can see the power meter showing exactly 12, and that's actually the limit. That's what we should be at, and it's at that. So it's interesting that it does more with voice. I need to try to line these up a little bit better. It's really close there. Okay, let's go to measurement. Alright, so we're at like 30, which is really good. So I'm not going to change it. I've already aligned this one. It looks outstanding. So let me adjust this just a hair down, scale it a little bit. So that's really nice. So yeah, I mean, it's everything you could want out of a modern CB with sideband, FM, the whole 9 yards. So in that regard, I just don't really think there's anything that can compare to it. Let me go to a 1K tone, and then we want to look at the freq counter really quick for SSB frequency. The only thing I wish I could change on these would be the ability to adjust the frequency of the transmission. Although they're very good, where this is upper side, so we're going to be looking for like 206, 27, 206. I mean, this one is pretty much dead nuts, so there's no issues here at all. Every once in a while they're like 10 hertz high or something, so that's one thing President doesn't give us dealers, or you guys that may know how to do this stuff, get into the menu already and stuff. You can't change that, and I wish that you could. So that's the only gripe I have. They can do it, but we can't. And they're not gonna, if you call them up and say, hey, my radio's 10 hertz off frequency, they're more than likely not gonna let you send it in to do that, because it costs them a lot of money to ship it back and the time to take. So 10 hertz really isn't anything. It's just me wanting more, I guess. But not all of them do that. So this one's a good one. All right, Gary, I'm gonna get this ready to send off to you. So I appreciate it, and let me know on that other aspect that you were messaging me about. I might be able to help you, but I might not too. It just depends. You know, I really don't like to take on stuff like that at certain times, because I just get so busy with my personal life and my personal job and everything. So I would just have to, you know, see what's going on with it and stuff. But be very careful with this one, and make sure that you know, when you plug in to the back of it, that you line up the red to the plus and the black to the negative. I mean, mistakes can happen and stuff, I understand that, but just maybe even like put a sticker on the top of it or something if you can see the top and you're trying to hook stuff up and you're not looking behind. Like, put a plus where the plus is and a minus where the minus is, so when you're looking at that cord and you're not looking at where you're plugging it in, that you're lining it up right. Because sometimes they will, you can force them in and then you hook it up backwards and usually blow the protection diode, and all you have to do is put a new one in, and usually the radio will come back to life, assuming that, you know, it has one, which I think pretty much all of them do. So alright, 73, thanks a lot.